Yes, I can.
Awesome, we can hear you.
Huh?
I took a picture.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Okay, awesome. I want to call to order the Friday, May 17th, 2024 VRE Operations Board meeting. If we could have roll call, please.
Ms. Bagley? Here. Ms. Blumkey?
Here.
Ms. Franklin? Ms. Gary? Present. Mr. Gordy?
Here.
Ms. Hayes?
Here.
Ms. Holmes? Here. Mr. Karen Thomas?
Here virtually.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Bailey? Ms. Metzing? Mr. Stark? Mr. Walkinshaw? Are absent today.
All right. And we do have a quorum.
We do have a quorum.
All right, thank you. If everyone could please stand for the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So our first order of business is Mr. Carantonis has requested to participate in the meeting remotely from Cincinnati, Ohio, where he is attending a conference. There being a quorum physically present, do I have a motion and a second to allow Mr. Carantonis to participate electronically?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is a voice vote. Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. You have been approved. First, I just want to start and say I thank board member Sarah Bagley for running the April meeting in my absence. So very much appreciated.
Good practice.
I didn't hear anything, so it must have been going very well. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Rich for our safety briefing this morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of quick things. We did present last month. This is our basic safety briefing, safety moment guide. So I'll leave it up there. And just so you know, sort of the mind frame we like to get into when we get groups like this. But specifically on the emergency preparedness side, we'll make a couple of assignments. Dallas in the back, could you be primary 911 caller? I'll ask John Bouquet to be the backup. AED, CPR, qualified, certified folks. How about Joe be primary, and if Mark in the back can be secondary. Just as a reminder, there is outside the double wood doors there, adjacent to the elevator, there is an AED and a first aid kit out there as well. Also wanted to, just because of potential inclement weather, as you may have noticed coming in, particularly when we go out, the weather may have changed a little bit. So just be conscious of your footing out there. It could be a little bit more slippery than when you came in. So that's my safety briefing, safety moment, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dalton. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So there's a second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That motion carries. We need to approve the minutes from the April 19th, 2024 Operations Board meeting. Are there any corrections or changes? Okay, may I have a motion?
Moved.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second.
Second.
All right, thank you very much. Any discussion? Please cast your vote, saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? That motion carries as well. Okay. In front of you, you will find an invitation to the official ribbon cutting for the new and improved Fredericksburg Station. which is going to be held this coming Tuesday, May 21st at 10 a.m. Unfortunately, I am out of town that day, so I will not be there. So bummed, but I have a prior commitment. But I know Ms. Holmes will be in charge of everything down there. And of course, Supervisor Gary and Mrs. Hayes may join as well since they're closest, but everybody is invited. We would love to have you attend. So welcome to the VRE Operations Board May meeting. I'm now going to turn everything over to Mr. Dalton for his report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just add that we did order specifically pleasant weather that day. Somebody in charge. I won't disclose who that is until after the fact to make sure that obviously that it worked out. But we did put in a special order for at least non-rainy weather. How's that? Again, thank you, Madam Chair. Just I'll step through these. Obviously, if you have any questions or anything, glad to go through it. Just under our safety topic, just wanted to let the operations board know that throughout last month, our partners at Keolis with their mechanical operations and their train operations team spent the month doing extensive training in accordance with our system safety program plan. And of course, all things safety went over safety related policies, procedures, and specifically.
Thank you.
Specifically spent a lot of time on just risk mitigation and stuff like that. Really encouraged all the employees to get engaged in the various employee safety committees, and obviously just ensuring that at all levels within the organization, everybody understands that that we all have a responsibility with safety and making sure that there is no impediments to people, the teams bringing safety or potential safety issues to us that we can't correct. So just want to emphasize that. On-time performance, as we talked about the last couple of months, definitely below our target. Still seeing a lot, also to this one, still seeing a lot of congestion out there. A slight reduction in some switch and signal issues, but congestion continues to be the root cause, particularly with our afternoon trains, and more specifically coming out of Washington Union Terminal. I'll go back to this one real quick. For the month of April, if you see that right-hand column about midway down, albeit the average delay minutes have ticked down, we still, are recording late trains. Still continue to work with all of our partners and trying to mitigate that. I'll jump to total monthly ridership, highest total monthly ridership that we've seen in the last 12 months. Since, of course, our natural dip that we see over the end of the year holidays, total ridership is, continues to increase since the beginning of the month. And of course, subsequently, average daily ridership, highest average daily ridership over the last 12 months. So headed in the right direction. On to move on. We were proud once again to be at the Great Train Race in the city of Fredericksburg. For some of us, we refer to it as the Great Rain Race. It was a very wet day, if you will. By special request, the organizers of this event asked us to bring our I guess now famous float that we used in the Fredericksburg Christmas parade. Asked if we bring that as a static display, and it provided a very, very nice background for a lot of kids and the families to get a picture and stuff with. And just want to emphasize, yes, that smoke in that smokestack was live, and the back wheels continued to turn. They survived the 4 or 5 hours and the rain out there that day. So it was a great event. Glad to be a partial sponsor of this, and again, once again, a very, very good day. Bottom left picture, I will note, after being at this event a couple of years, we noticed he had the wrong conductor's hat. So he is now officially sporting a VRE and promised us that moving forward, that will be part of his uniform. So again, community outreach, branding, all that type of stuff that we're all collaborating on. Also wanted to point out, May 8th, we did our annual customer service survey. That was conducted. In addition to just folks filling out the survey, it's become somewhat of a trend the last couple of years of our passengers also slipping us thank you notes and different things. At that time, just wanted to show a couple of those. I will come back likely next month or July with an overview of those results for you. Also, again, from a community outreach, we did attend the fair. We had our teams out there speaking to folks about transit benefits and all things VRE as well. We continue our Meet the Management series. We did Crystal City earlier this week. One more left. That would be next Wednesday at Franconia Springfield. And again, from about 2:30, 3 o'clock to about 7. So if you're out in the area, stop by. A lot of good engagement, a lot of good conversations with our passengers, and very inquisitive. We come out there and we're also giving them information about upcoming projects and stuff like that. So it gives us an opportunity to keep them informed and the public in general about all these different projects that we have going on. And just hot off the press, some pictures from, or just wanted to note that a fleet of folks, including VRE staff, OmniRide staff, is out supporting Bike to Work Day out there. So Karen in the back was fortunate to capture or have folks capture and send her so we can get in time for this presentation. But always a good event out there, not only to promote Bike to Work, but gives us once again a chance to promote VRE and in this case OmniRide as well. And then finally, I just want to bring up in my comments, heard about this. If you haven't heard about this, I just want to state that on May 1st, a joint meeting between MWCOG and WMATA was held between the two board of directors. They passed a resolution to essentially to conduct this initiative, a unified vision for transit in the DMV. If you don't have any of this information, we'll send it to you after the board meeting to keep you advised. I will say that, and we've stated the objective in this first bullet point. My intent is not to go too deep into this, but there's probably some of you sitting around the room that probably know a little bit more about this than some of us. But nonetheless, what I wanted to do is at least just for table setting purposes, set the table here, that this is an initiative. VRE has been asked to participate on an advisory committee level. And again, just as it states in the title, a unified vision for transit in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area. Like to make this somewhat of a topic that I'll continue to bring forward and update, if you will. But again, they've assembled quite amount of folks, if you will, and organizations, including the private sector as well. So there's a meeting in June, so I'd rather go to that meeting and then be able to talk a little bit more firsthand about it. But again, just want to get it out there and preface, this is why you're going to get an email with an attachment that goes through a lot of this information with you. So, and then that's it. In case if you have any questions, comments, glad to take them.
Yes, Ms. Hayes.
The increase in ridership, do you have any ideas on where that's stemming from?
So, partly, we are hearing a lot about different agencies, bringing, folks back more from where before they may have had 1 or 2 work days a week or whatever, they're coming back 3 and 4. We do generally see a bump like this, in the spring, if you will, also. And I think that's predominantly why we're seeing that. And there also, there's still some projections of more, agencies. We track about 100 agencies. So, and there's definitely more than that, but that's generally what we're hearing from them. And they'll continue to implement, more frequent in-office work days or whatever, so.
Thank you.
Hey, anyone else? Great, I just want to thank you, Rich, for all the community involvement that you show up there, because that's just free advertising. And the great train race down in the Fredericksburg area, I remember our family did it for, every year. It's a fun event. It did not rain as much as it was supposed to this year.
That's true.
That it was, we had our fingers crossed. I will just pass along, in case any of you are doing any kind of races in your respective cities or counties, that they did something different this year. And my husband actually worked in the corral. And I think about this because you're always highlighting safety, which is so important. But they had a corral at the end of the race, and every child had to come in there, and their bib number had to match their parent number on the parent's wrist in order for that child to be released from the corral. So I just thought that was, in this day and age that we're living in, I thought I would just pass that along if you're doing something. I don't know who came up with that idea, but I thought it was very clever. Could we just go back to that last slide, please, Rich?
You bet.
I think the important part here is also in that last sentence. It says the task force is slated to approve a final plan, funding model, and action steps, as well as develop implementation recommendations by June of 25. That is only a year from now. So I think as Rich said, we all need to be paying attention to what's happening at these meetings. And I'm anxious to hear, once you attend the first one, the information that Rich can bring back to him. Because I think there's, and of course, I'm sure it's open to the public, and any of us can attend these meetings if we so choose. So anyway, if you're interested, I'm sure there's stuff out online to Google that, but we don't have a lot of information right now. If anybody here in the room has anything, we're more than happy to listen to you.
Mr. Carantonis had to stand up.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Carantonis.
Oh, I didn't. I just used an emoji to clap for your comments on how well the public outreach was done, and how innovative the safety and the attention to the kids, and matching them with their parents was. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you for pointing that out, Madam Chair.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, moving on to VRE accepts public comments, both in person and electronically via the VRE website. Members of the public wishing to make public comments have 3 minutes and should state their full name and the jurisdiction they live in. And written comments submitted before 8 a.m. this morning will be forwarded to the members of the board and attached to the official minutes. Do we have any members of the public here that would like to address the board? Okay, seeing none. Madam Clerk, do we have any electronically submitted comments?
Madam Chair, we did not receive it.
Okay, all right, wonderful. Then at that point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bagley, who was going to read us into closed session.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, Section 2.2-3711.a, parents 3, parents 6, and parents 8 of the Code of Virginia, I move that the VRE Operations Board convene a closed meeting for the purposes of 1, consultation with legal counsel regarding the terms of the Norfolk Southern Operating Access Agreement, which require the provision of legal advice by counsel. 2, discussion of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose where discussion in public would adversely affect the negotiating strategy and bargaining position of the commissions. And 3, discussion of the investment of public funds where bargaining is involved, where, if made public initially, the financial interest of the governmental unit would be adversely affected. That's a motion.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, please cast your vote by a voice vote by saying aye if you're in favor. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We need to.
Mr. Carantonis, oh, is this a roll call?
I voted aye.
Okay,
Ms. Bagley,
Aye.
Ms. Bonner,
Aye.
Ms. Franklin,
Aye.
Ms. Gary, Mr. Gordy.
Aye.
Ms. Hayes.
Aye.
Ms. Holmes.
Aye.
Mr. Carantonis,
Aye.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
And that motion carries.
Okay. Okay, we are now in closed
We're
session.
going to transition into a discussion.
Okay.
Both electronic, I'll ask staff with the exception of a couple.